There are several different things that people can do to try to counteract the negative effects of quitting smoking. There are nicotine replacement methods, which would be gum, lozenges, patches, vapor inhalers, things like that. And those will pretty much remove the negative effects of nicotine withdrawal because you don't have nicotine withdrawal. There are other medications that can be used to help with the cravings and the anxiety that tend to go along with it. There's a drug that's also used for depression that's called Wellbutrin. The name brand that was approved for quitting smoking is called Zyban. Some people have heard of that. There's also a newer drug called Chantix that is quite effective at helping people to quit smoking. Both of them can have negative side effects. In some people they'll cause more depression and anxiety, but in a lot of people they're very effective, and you use them for a certain amount of time and then you taper off with those too. With the nicotine replacement, the goal is always to stop using nicotine entirely. The best method that I have seen for quitting smoking is to simply stop smoking. And I tell people that all the time. I say, if you want to quit smoking, you just don't smoke anymore. And it's very difficult for a few days, and then it becomes less difficult. And after a while you think, that wasn't that bad. Some of the immediate negative effects include irritability. Most people suffer from a lot of irritability when they quit smoking, and that's just from nicotine withdrawal. A little later on you can have some sort of fuzzy-headedness and inability to concentrate because your body is suffering from withdrawal. And even further on than that, a couple days down the road, you can notice different effects from things than you're used to. For instance, a lot of people who quit smoking used to smoke and drink coffee, and they'll continue to drink coffee because the nicotine used to counteract the effect of the caffeine in the coffee. They quit smoking, all of a sudden they're jittery and shaky and feel terrible when they drink the same amount of coffee they've already had. So those are some of the relatively short-term effects within the first few days. You can notice a huge change in your ability to taste things. Things that used to taste very mild, and all of a sudden taste stunningly strong.
I'll expel.
That tastes just very mild and bland while you smoke because it deadens the nerves. And then when you quit smoking, all of a sudden orange juice is just so strong and not even good. So people will notice that things don't taste as good as they used to, and it's just that they taste different. Now there are psychological ways to combat these also. So there's things that
Sure.
you can do psychologically to try to help with the symptoms of just quitting cold turkey. A lot of them may be ineffective, especially because your brain is lying to yourself. For instance, some people will say, when you feel the craving for a cigarette, you should just, get up and clean the kitchen. But when you're irritable and your body is wanting nicotine and you're thinking, why am I doing this? The last thing you want to do is clean the kitchen. So I would recommend doing something more fun, something that's interesting to you, that's going to distract you from your craving for nicotine, but isn't going to be something that's going to make you angry at the fact that you have to do this. Most of the time cravings will go away very quickly. They can be very, very powerful when all of a sudden all you want in the whole world is nicotine, smoking, or even gum or something. You need nicotine right now. But if you just wait for a few minutes, that will pass and you think, oh, that's not that bad. I'd still kind of like to smoke, but I don't have to. And the thing that I've found to be the absolute best at getting someone who's gone a few days to not start smoking again is reminding them of how bad those first few days were. And you say, you quit smoking. You haven't smoked in 2 days or 3 days or a week. When you get to the point where your body is screaming at you to smoke, you have to say, I can't smoke, because then I'd have to quit again, and that was not any fun.